Hi teammates, let's dive into some mysteries one more time. Beketamun, or Becket, Princess 18th Dynasty of Egypt. Amenmose was her servant. Now, if you go to Google Maps, and if you type in Campbellsville, Kentucky, where I was born, to Corpus Christi, Texas, both routes on the maps on Google, you'll see the head of the actual Martian manhunter whenever he's in his Martian form. Okay. Now that is made out by the roads. Okay. So what I see is a geographical creature. This is not in the stars, it's in the geography of Earth. So it's kind of Groxton a little bit, but it's what I see. So Mexico down to Guatemala is the high walk, using back of leg muscles to walk, which equals the sanctuary of strength talked about in Daniel. Okay. So Deepwater Horizon is abdomen, disconnected and behind the legs, like he was assembled from parts laying in this geography. Okay, so that's just a way to describe this whole creature, is that he's like assembled parts that are laying there in the geography that had to be put together. Okay. Now, he was as a spy who found out Rahab and Jericho were flippers who traded burdens in exchange for pasture. Okay, so he was one of the spies that Joshua sent to spy out the Jericho land. Then his legs are as Amenmose, the servant who had sexual relationship with Beketamun. Okay. So, as Martian Manhunter, he hunted starseeds that were flippers and not merciful. Then he came to Earth and was a detective in Middle Earth for 5 years during the reign of King Aragorn. Okay, so that would be after the return of the King of Lord of the Rings. And 5 years as a detective in Cuba in our world. Then he was called by some Gadite guardian angels to be born into the end times as his geography pieced together. Okay. Now, Scott, my sister's boyfriend, is the swell shark head spider creature that we went over yesterday, who is Lujan, Batscar Lomid, and Scott R. Okay. And that's the Atrax robustus creature. All right, so then I've got some dates here as well. 1924 to 1934, John Jones, who is the Martian Manhunter, was a detective. Starseed on Mars, born 1868, May 18th. Okay, then he technically died, or was called by some Gadite guardian angels, to go into, wherever you go to be born into our world. March 1st, 1934 is when he was called to do that. So technically died that day. So 58 years and 20 days is the time span in between my birthday and when John Jones was called. And then this is all hot off the press too. I haven't even looked at these dates or anything. But 1460 BC, March 16th, Amenmose was born, and 1400, May 16th, Amenmose died. Then 1390 BC was beginnings of plagues of Egypt. Okay. So you can see how he was born into, it's like he was born in where two events happened, big events within 100 years of each other happened. Because with this, you've got the Great Depression and like gangsters mobbing, in the 20s and 30s. And everything from 1868, we've got that with Valner Kanzu as well, somewhere around that time. And then with this, it's you have the Exodus and just normal happenings in Egypt, under the Pharaoh, but changing roles of man and women happening in Egypt at that time. So Okay, that's what I see. Thank you. Have a good night.